Hi guys, today we'll fix the Nivona coffee machine. I had a defective drain valve. I'll show you how to find this problem and as well how to fix it. And at first I could hear that the coffee maker was running. Everything seemed to be okay. It was grinding beans and switching and clicking inside, but as soon as it needed to start to pour the water in the cup, nothing was happening. I could hear some internal leaks somewhere, but obviously you can't see them. So let me show you how you can trace the problem. Let's open the side cover. Let's take the pair out. So right inside here, where the drive is, underneath this small cover, there's a drain valve. So obviously you can see everything's really closed and you can't see much. So let's remove this cover and let's see what's underneath. Underneath this cover, you have a drain valve. So that drain valve is driven with the motor, so it opens and closes and lets the excessive pressure, water pressure off. It lets the excessive water pressure off through this drain, and it drains down here in a tray underneath. And I have a defective, and obviously how do I find it is that I have a small crack down here. Right up here I have a small crack, and it's very difficult to find one or to look for the problem because everything's closed. So what I did, I'll show you. I put this pair back. I didn't put the cover back. Once you put in the mechanism, you need to lock it. You can't lock it because you remove the cover, and this cover has these two knobs and they are pushing on these two pins, and that allows the handle to be moved. So, but you can move this by hand. Let me show you how to do it. You put it inside, you remove the tray, then you put your hand down here, you feel where is it, you move it, and then you can lock the pair. So I had to start the coffee machine, but the coffee machine won't start because there is no tray inside. So right here on the side there is a micro switch. You can activate it with some screwdriver or something. And then you can see inside down here with a good flashlight, you can see the drain valve, and I could see that it was leaking and it was cracked. And once you identify that that's the drain valve, you need to go and get yourself a new drain valve. I have a local dealer, so I just went over and got this new part. And let me show you how we can replace it and fix the coffee machine. You need to remove that one screw right here in the front. Then flip it around and do a few more screws on the back. And then right here underneath the edge, you slide in a flat screwdriver and the cover will pop off. Then here from the top, you need to slide in a screwdriver, and there are like two tabs up and it comes off. Yeah, it's all released, and you can remove the top cover. And of course you remove the water tank and the side panel. When you remove the front screw and the rear panel is off, will slide forward. So it slides forward and then it comes off. There's this level switch and it's on quite tight cables. So lift this tab up and get it out. Now we need to take the whole brains off, the whole mechanism which controls the coffee machine, because right behind it there's a small tube we'll need to remove. You can't do other ways than getting this thing off. Obviously no cables will need to be removed. The whole module will slide off and we'll be able to squeeze our hand in and remove the small tube. So also this one, on and off switch, needs to come off, and these two screws, and then the module comes off. Right down here is a small spring which sits here and there when you will be installing it back. Don't forget, otherwise the button will be loose. So now all the brains are loose. You don't need to pull them too much, just a little bit off, and we'll be able to get our hand in from behind here. And by the way, that's the tube we'll need to remove. That's the small tube we'll need to remove, but it's locked from the other side. First remove the pin and then we get the tube out. So right inside here is a small pin. We need to get that pin out. Grab some long nose pliers and get this pin out. Now you can slide the hand in from the other side and remove the tube. Yeah, the small tube is loose. You can see it's out. Remove that small spring. And now the whole drain valve, you can pull it out. Yeah, it comes out. I'll show you the place where it had this small crack. It was right here in the corner. You can hardly see it. It's like a small micro crack. I removed it previously 2 or 3 times and I couldn't see it with just the flashlight with my own eyes. I couldn't find it unless I started the coffee machine and looked from underneath there, and I could see it was spraying, so that was the good indication. Yeah, that's it, that's broken. Need to get a new part. So that's the old one. And let's open up the new one and compare them. They do look exactly the same. Yep. And make sure that you move the O-ring from here to here because the new one doesn't have it in the set. Switch it over to that side. Everything else, the O-rings here are the same and they're where they're supposed to be. And also I have a new tube. I'll remove the old one. You can see it's a bit larger and a bit longer, so I'll cut it off and we'll install the new tubing because this one's like 9 years old. It's still okay, but I will install the new one as long as I have it. And also there's a new spring in the set. We'll put the new spring in as well. So you match these the correct length. And you cut it. I'll put the drain valve in. We'll put a new spring. Let's put that tube back from the other side. When you put the tube back, put this pin back in. And of course, you try to pull by the tube that it sits firm. Yeah, it sits firm. We can put the cover back. Now we can put back the mechanism, but guys, make sure you clean it very well, that everything's inside is really nice and clean, coffee leftovers, and it's nice and clean, that the mechanism is free and it will move freely, and it will be able to squeeze the grinded coffee well and make you a tasty coffee. One more advice and a small tip is, here's a small, like a lip seal, and the whole mechanism goes upwards and slides over the lip seal. This is greased with food approved silicone, not a normal silicone, not a technical for the O-rings and the cars, but this should be greased with the food approved silicone. As well as this small O-ring here, which goes and slides inside the drain valve. Also apply on a finger and a little bit around on this O-ring with food approved silicone. Let me show you how I do it, guys. Just a tiny bit on the lip of the finger, on the tip of the finger, and you go and smear it all around. This food silicone will allow it to slide easier, and because sometimes very often you have these O-rings going bad and then the whole pair and the mechanism cannot slide on and it gets seized, and you can hear it doesn't work. It just goes like the coffee machine starts to make noise, but it cannot squeeze it past. It needs to go all the way. If it cannot, obviously, then I had this lip seal replaced as well once already, so, and I wasn't greasing anything because I didn't know, but for you guys, grease it, food approved silicone, and you'll be fine. So let's put these things back. And one more tip, guys, before you put the mechanism back, lubricate this small like an O-ring thing, like a rubber thing on this shaft. But here you can use any O-ring safe lubricant. It doesn't need to be food safe, because that mechanism and that part doesn't touch the coffee preparation and the process at all. Let's put the switch back, and don't forget this small spring. Yeah, it goes inside there, and then it sits here. One screw here in the front, on the top. Yeah, these two tabs are aligned and they are in. You can put a water tank back. And let's put the back cover on. So let's test. Enjoy your coffee, guys.